South Africa, police are on high alert in Soweto after at least 3 people were killed during violent protests. On Wednesday, residents went on the rampage, looting foreign-owned stores. The unrest broke out after a teenager was shot dead, allegedly by a foreign shopkeeper. The teenager had apparently tried to rob the store. At least 27 people have been arrested for various crimes, including murder, attempted murder, possession of unlicensed firearms, and public violence. Though the situation has calmed on Thursday, many foreign-owned shops remain closed. Let's get you more on these protests. I'm joined from Johannesburg by Sumitra Naidu. Sumitra, what's the latest at this moment?
Well, Panina, the situation is still quite tense on the ground, and it almost feels a little bit chaotic. There's quite a bit happening on the ground. There's reports coming through from different areas around the township. You know, Soweto is massive. So protests are still brewing in some parts. The police are raiding shops, and lots of other small spaza shops and businesses have closed for the day in fear of further looting and violence. 2 people were killed yesterday. Another person was confirmed dead this morning. We have heard reports that somebody else is wounded, is still in hospital, and the police say that they've arrested 27 people so far.
Sumitra, the foreign-owned shops are alleged to have been selling expired goods. Has this been verified?
Well, so there are quite a few government departments that are out on the ground, and they've started raiding some of these shops in the township since Monday. So they're working with community groups to identify the stores that are being accused of selling the counterfeit and expired goods. Some of the stock was confiscated and will obviously go for further testing. You know, there are also reports of illegally manufactured goods that of course pose a health risk. So the executive mayor of Ekurhuleni is currently in the Johannesburg CBD. He's being accompanied by various other state organs, Department of Home Affairs, the Health Inspectorate, immigration officers, and the police service, and they're raiding these shops in the city looking for these counterfeit goods, expired products. They're also looking for drugs, and they're also checking for illegal immigrants. They've already shut down 3 shops. Of course, we don't know how many more by the end of the day and how long these raids will continue and which other areas they're going to go to. But of course, they would be assessing and looking at some of these goods, and then of course giving us more details on that. Nina?
And Sumitra, this isn't the first time foreigners have been attacked in South Africa, in Soweto to be specific. How concerned are they, the foreigners, about how safe it is to conduct business in South Africa?
Yes, that's right. You know, in 2015, it was more, you know, South Africans really attacking Africans from other parts of the continent, and it was really about jobs. It was, you know, foreigners coming in, taking jobs and running all the businesses. And of course, you know, the issue in South Africa is that there's a really high unemployment rate. The economy is very weak. So of course, that caused a lot of tensions back then. This time around, it's really about the abuse by these shop owners, the alleged abuse of selling these expired goods, taking advantage of poor communities by selling them illegally manufactured products that pose a health risk to them. So it is slightly different, but I think it is constantly a fear for many of these illegal immigrants that are here. And of course, you know, they are here because they're looking for better fortunes. And in South Africa, legal immigrants are actually allowed to seek employment, to run businesses. You know, of course, everything must be above board. So many of the foreigners that are in this country running businesses have remained, you know, despite the constant attacks and the targeting. And it's unfortunate that sometimes they get lumped in with the criminal elements. So, and you know, they are a very important part to many communities as well. So these communities need them. They set up shop in remote areas, in big townships where other big retail stores are not around. So it is convenient. They are slightly cheaper. And of course, you know, for poorer communities, they offer credit. So this has become also an important part for communities. It just becomes unfortunate when some of these criminal elements decide to abuse the system, and government is being criticized heavily for not constantly monitoring these systems, for not ensuring proper law enforcement to ensure that everything is above board and that, you know, poorer communities especially are not being abused by the system.
All right, Sumitra, thank you for that update. Sumitra Naidu live in Johannesburg.